Today, I want to talk about the world of carbonated mead and how you serve it, the various containers in which you serve it from, and honestly, just how awesome it is. So let's get started. So many of you know I'm a big fan of carbonated mead in many different forms. I like carbonated mead, not only low ABV, because that's mostly where carbonated mead is, when you're like 7% or lower, but not just low ABV, but also like standard strength, wine strength things that can be lightly carbonated as well. In front of me, you see a plethora of, well, kegs is what they are, but versions or ways to serve carbonated mead. So today, I'm just gonna talk through each one, give a little explainer, and then talk about the different places you can buy them, of course. So these are all kegs in some form or fashion. This is a 5-gallon ball lock keg. Now there are different kinds of kegs you can buy. You can buy large kegs, you can buy small kegs, of course, and there are different sort of keg connections. There's a Sankey keg connection, which has its own unique adapter and things like that you have to have. And then there are ball lock kegs. Ball lock kegs have the top of the posts are ball locks, and so it's the way you connect to the keg. This is a 5-gallon torpedo keg. This one is maybe not what you normally see. You'll see something like it from whatever brand, but it's a 5-gallon keg. Uses a lid like this and super easy to use. This is a 3-gallon keg, so just a little smaller, same operation, a ball lock keg with the correct lid. And we'll talk about briefly how to use these, although I have a video on carbonating mead within these kegs. Then we get to some other varieties of these. This is a 1.3-gallon keg. You'll notice that these two kegs right here, they don't have any way to serve. So what's important about these two kegs is that you have some way to serve the mead itself. You can serve this into a whole kegerator system in operation, because each one of these kegs has an in and an out. The in is for the gas line, the CO2, so you connect some sort of CO2 connection to the in. That's the out, but this is the in, and that would apply the pressure, PSI. The other one is the out. You could, of course, like I said, have a kegerator setup that has the lines through the tower and the tap and all those things like that. It kind of looks like this, but in a bigger form. Or if you're just trying to do it quick, you could use what we call a picnic tap. Now this is a picnic tap. Literally, it just connects to the out, and then you would pour. Now, obviously, this has nothing in it, so that's not going to happen, but this is a picnic tap, a ball lock connection. I'm not really talking about Sankey connections today, even though those are a thing as well. Sankey kegs are just not as common in my world right now, but there are connectors and connections you can get to pour and to tap a Sankey keg, not just in a kegerator, but for your own personal use. So I'll try and put some links down below if you need some of that. So the important distinguishing factor here is the fact that these do not have a serving thing on them naturally. You have to have a way to serve via kegerator, via picnic tap, via some source like that. These three right here all have the ability to serve and carbonate within them. Now this one's a little different. This doesn't do any carbonation, but this does serving. This is a 1.3-gallon keg. On the top of this keg is a spot for a CO2 cartridge, and it has a little regulator on top. So what you can do with this is you can carbonate your mead, wine, cider, or beer inside of this keg and also serve it because it has a tap on it already. So the cool thing about this, it's super simple. I actually have a cider in here right now, a peach cider, and right now it's just sitting. I'm about to put in a couple days, because I'm letting it do a couple more things and clear up some. I'm gonna put one of those CO2 cartridges on it, bump it up to 30 PSI for a couple days, and then when I feel like it's ready, bump it down to a serving pressure, and I'll be able to serve from this without having any extra connections. So that's super nice. This is also like 1.3 gallons, which is nice. It's a little bigger than just a standard 1 gallon, which is what you see right here. Now this is a 1-gallon keg. I've already talked about this before in another video, but this one has the same things you see, has the tap on it, has the CO2 cartridge with the regulator, so you can, of course, apply pressure and serve from it as well. Very nice setup. I really like this one right here. I like on this specific one right here that you can use an adapter to go to a kegerator setup. So this right here is a ball lock connection that goes into this 1 gallon keg. This allows me to not have to use CO2 cartridges because I would just screw this onto there and be able to force carbonate with a CO2 tank instead of having to use these cartridges. They can be kind of expensive. And then I can also use my ball lock connections of my kegerator to pour into my taps and not have to worry about this. You could use this if you wanted to go on the go and connect it to, let's say, a picnic tap. There are also connections if you wanted to get the cartridge and all those things on there, but I like this thing. It's more money. There'll be a link in the description, but this is really nice for these 1 gallon kegs. You can't do this with this 1.3 gallon, unfortunately. There are lots of different versions of this. You might see 1 gallon kegs, you might see 2 gallon kegs, you might see half gallon kegs, or various sizes. So there are lots of little adapters. But the pros of this, specifically as they are, is that you can serve from them as well as carbonate. So, of course, different sizes, but same operation. The last little selection here I'll show you is this side right here. Now, this one's a little special because I have a buddy named Zach who shared some things with me, so I'm gonna plug a little bit of his company, but this is a way to take, well, it's a growler. So this growler is intended to take your carbonated beverage that's already previously been carbonated and serve that while it's still carbonated. Lots of times when you put things into a growler or a container, you lose carbonation. This thing specifically, I can show you the inside of it, has a spot for a CO2 cartridge on the inside. It also has, and I'll get some close-ups, but it has a PSI gauge on it so you know how high the pressure is, and on and off to gauge how much pressure you're adding, and of course a place to pour. So I put a mead in here not too long ago, and let's see if I've kept some carbonation. Oh, I've definitely kept carbonation. This is a sunflower. I probably put it on too high, if anything. I helped it carb. So that is a sunflower blossom braggot. So it's obviously very carbonated, and that'll come down in a second. But it works well from what you can see. Keeps it carbonated. It also, what's cool about this and his company, I believe this is I want to say it's a half gallon. I'll get the right numbers for you. But he does some engraving for this company. So the company is Craft Master Growlers, and they do these different kinds of sizes of growlers. And I think they have even a 1 gallon version as well if you wanted to do that. They look pretty cool. You can get them engraved. So he sent this to me with it engraved. He also does glassware. This is not a very clean glass, but this glass right here has the Man-Made Mead logo on it. And so does this one. And so does the one that has mead in it. Is this ready for me to drink? Carbonated, refreshing. All right, I didn't know this before, but they actually do make caps to pressurize your brews via a CO2 tank or some other connection. So you can treat this like a real keg and pressurize your brew. You don't just have to do a fresh or already carbonated mead, wine, cider, beer in your brew. It is a little more money, but you can do it. This is a growler. These are kegs. I feel like the description or distinction is the keg can apply carbonation. This is hopefully keeping carbonation with a little bit of application. So thank you to Zach for sharing this with me. I hope you go check out his company. I'll put a link in the description, but really cool stuff. Really cool way to serve your brews if you're interested in that. So we've looked at a bunch of different ways to serve and create carbonated beverages. It's an expensive hobby. It's an expensive jump into the next thing. However, my favorite part of mead making right now is making carbonated brews. I just finished a 4% carbonated mead. I sent it off to a competition and it won a gold medal, which is pretty crazy because it's a 4% brew. Super low ABV, but that's kind of the future. The thing is, that mead would not have been nearly as good if I had done it in a bottle carbonated way because I wouldn't have the control. So these allow you to have the control you need to make your mead and carbonate it as it stands. You don't have to worry about bottle carbonation, alternative sugars, anything like that. So you'll see a bunch of links in the description for all of these companies and all these things. I hope that you will go check it out. Consider doing some forced carbonation in your life. I do have a video on that walks in more detail how to carbonate a mead specifically, or carbonate homebrew. So I'll apply or give you that right there. I just wanted to give you the different sizes and kinds you can go with. Of course, this is only a small amount. We missed Sankey kegs. We missed larger kegs. We missed even smaller kegs. There's lots of different options for you, but go check them out. Those links in the description are Amazon affiliate links, other than the Craft Master Growlers one. So when you click on them and you buy something, it will go to support the channel. That's just a helpful thing for me. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been informative in some form or fashion, and thanks for watching. Cheers.